Hello and welcome again to another episode of Extreme Martial Art. In this week's episode, we look into an unarmed combat martial art believed to be originated in the ancient Japan. It was influenced by many fighting styles, incorporating part of all of them. This weaponless style was also integrated into the trainings of samurai from the 8th to the 16th century. The most ancient martial art in the world, the art of Kano Jujitsu.
The art of Jujitsu dates back thousands of years. Sources prove that the art is definitely of Japanese origin. The word Jujitsu is literally translated to the gentle art. Jujitsu is one of the oldest Japanese martial arts. It could indeed be argued that all Japanese martial arts have at least some of their roots in Jujitsu. This helps to explain why it covers such a wide range of techniques. Strikes, joint locks, and throws are all used in Jujitsu.
In feudal Japan, the samurai warrior needed this unarmed combat technique for their emergency situation. Over the generation, the technique they used developed into the art we call Jujitsu. Jujitsu means the gentle art, but this is always misleading. Actually, the word ju or gentle refer to using very clever technique to defeat your opponent rather than the force. We learn the art of striking and throwing. We have strangle, grapplings, and you have these locks and attacking on the vital points. We only teach technique which really works.
The essence principle of Jujitsu is to defeat the enemy with any and all means, using minimal force. Movements emphasize circularity to take advantage of the attacker's momentum to break the opponent's balance in preparation for joint, locking, or throwing techniques.
Jujitsu was never meant for sport, but for practical use in self-defense. The techniques have been the basis for many military unarmed combat training for years. There are no rules in Jujitsu. It includes throws, locks, and striking techniques. It's a mixture of hard and soft style.
Jujitsu is a Japanese martial arts that utilize the following different skill sets, included a wide variety of arm manipulations such as blocking, holds, chokes, joint lock techniques, strikes, throws and sweeps, as well as ground fighting, grappling skills. Common to most Jujitsu styles are these four basic elements: Nage-waza, throwing techniques; Gatame-waza, holding and locking techniques; Shime-waza, strangulation techniques; and Atemi-waza, hitting vulnerable body parts. The main method of combative finishing is throwing the opponent. Jujitsu can be used against one attacker or multiple attackers, and whether the attackers are armed or unarmed. The most important principle of throwing as practiced was to disturb the opponent's balance and then pull or push in a way that the opponent might lose his equilibrium and fall heavily to the ground. A series of rules was taught respecting the different motions of feet, legs, arms, hands, thigh, and back in order to accomplish the skills rather than strength. With very minor changes in the position of arms or legs, an attacker can be thrown on the front, back, or side. The point is that the throws are taught from several angles and in several directions. This method of throwing stresses throws to the side, permitting break falls and safe landings. The throws are taught by grabbing the body instead of grabbing the cloth. For choking up the throat was done by the hands, forearms, or by twisting the collar of the opponent's coat round the throat. For holding down and pushing, any part of the body was used. While for twisting and bending, the parts employed were generally the arms, hands, and fingers, and sometimes also involved the legs. In Atarni Waza, which is the striking attacks, more focus on hitting the vital points. These will induce central nerve paralysis or momentary muscle spasms. In combative methods or self-defense, joint locking can seldom be used to totally subdue. That is why throws are considered the major method of finishing in Jiu-Jitsu. Techniques are arranged in order to maximize learning and practicality. The emphasis in training develops balance and therefore speeds and power, making use of physiological weak points, and assailant is controlled with a minimum of force.